On 30th January 2022, Valorant released artwork that showed us what Jamie's room looks like, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. As we explore his man cave, we will talk about things like his footwear collection, jackets, a fireman's pole, a gold record, and his wanted poster. If you wanna check the artwork out yourself, I've posted the Twitter links in the description. The artists over at Valorant have really done their research because this is exactly what a male living space looks like. The room is full, yet empty. There are objects here and there that fill up space, but the room still looks pretty bland. And I think this is an aesthetic achieved by adding once bare essentials only. I know that the explanation might seem nonsensical, so I'll try my best to explain my thought process. Let's focus on the plaque above his footwear collection that has the words Peckham on it. We've got confirmation that Peckham is the name of his hometown, as evident through various frames of the come home visual shot. So sure, Phoenix would have that. He is known to get homesick often, but he doesn't seem to have souvenirs from parties or fieldwork. He doesn't have postcards or Polaroids or pictures from vacations. Valorant has released a lot of artwork that shows Phoenix traveling all around the world, but you don't see anything in his room that would confirm it. Well, he does have a figurine above his mirror, but since it's a figurine of himself, I don't think it counts. So yeah, that's what I meant by a male living space. Lack of meaningful decorations that relate to your friends and family while being somewhat minimalistic. And so, the main decorations in his room are just the huge TV, his footwear collection, and his wardrobe that is comprised of his signature jackets. And this is pretty funny because in the warm-up cinematic he mentions that he buys these jackets by the dozen. So the lore consistency relating to his jackets is really impressive. He seems to be using a green pipe to hang his jackets, which is actually pretty nifty. It's a good touch. And then we have a sad-looking plant on top of Jamie's TV, which I only imagine was suggested as a decoration by his sister Mary or his mom's. Next to the plants, we have bathing towels. I might be wrong, but why does he have bathing towels on top of his TV next to the local flora? It just doesn't make any sense. And also, takeout boxes on the left side of his bed. I think it's a pizza box with another small bag next to it. It's just perfect. Then we have scattered books, magazines, and empty shelves below his TV and console, because he probably didn't know what to put there. Up next, we have some fiery decorations, namely the abstract painting on the wall next to the TV and the curveball icon on his bathroom door. Curveball is the name of his flash ability in-game. He also has the same icon printed on the back of his jackets. Through a post on 13th June 2023 on Twitter, we got to know that Phoenix has a footwear collection. I'm not a footwear enthusiast, but I'm guessing the trainers in his room are the ones he actively wears. He must have the rest of his collection somewhere else. The Twitter post also states that Phoenix bonded with Gecko over their shared appreciation for sneakers. One of his final kill voice lines is directed towards ISO, and it's also related to shoes. So I guess his passion for footwear runs deep. On the left side of the artwork, we can see a white chair, which is a part of his computer setup that we will talk about in a bit. But before that, we see a silver rod in front of it. First, I thought this was a lamp. But on closer inspection, I saw that the silver rod goes through the base of the lamp. And the base of the lamp is actually a hole in the floor. Is this a fireman's pole? So in a fire station, a fireman's pole serves the purpose of providing a way to descend to the ground floor as fast as possible so that the firefighters can be on their way. Now, I don't know if the fireman's pole came with the establishment or if Phoenix had it installed because he wanted to. But this is really cool. Through a Reddit Q&A, we know that his mother was a firefighter. She was fire service. Maybe this became a major factor in him getting a fireman's pole for himself. Maybe he has some memories attached to it. So yeah, that's something to think about. But it does raise a question. Does he live in an apartment? Because if he does, he must live on the first floor. But even then, where does the pole go? To the reception? To the parking area? Wouldn't that cause some disturbance to the people underneath. And then there's the issue where you have a giant hole in your house. If you're listening to music, playing games, having a party, or talking to someone, I'm sure that everyone below can hear everything. It's a major privacy concern, especially if you belong to a secret organization that saves the world. Therefore, my conclusion is that Phoenix owns the entire building, which does make sense because Valorant has a lot of funds and connections. For example, Brimstone was able to pull some strings and reduce the prison sentence for Breach's nephew. Brimstone doing this is kind of morally dubious, but that's a conversation for another video. But this does go on to show that Brimstone is well connected, and getting an entire building for one of the agents to live in is probably not that hard. We also have related artwork where we got to see his computer setup, and it's pretty interesting. Phoenix seems to have a lot of space in his house, which is really sick. A spacious home is really comfy to live in. The first thing you might notice is the bright red emergency exit doors on the left. I've never seen a fire exit built inside a residence or a house. So maybe Phoenix is living in a building that used to be an office space or a commercial space before. Right next to the exit, he's got one of his jackets. He probably wears that jacket when he has to leave in a hurry. He's also got a fire extinguisher that is awkwardly balanced against the wall, which makes me think he probably played around with it. The recording setup is honestly kinda surprising. I didn't know that Phoenix made content or music for that matter. He's got a portable recording booth with a mic and an acoustic foam barrier around it. He also has speakers, an electric piano, and audio mixing software. We know that Mari is a famous musician. Mari and Jamie's parents must have been an influence on both of them. The entire family is filled with musicians. And it looks like Jamie is pretty good at what he does because he's got a gold record. A gold record is an award or a certification of sorts given to an artist upon reaching a certain milestone. In the United Kingdom, a golden label is awarded to an artist that sells an album 100,000 times, a single 400,000 times, or a music video 50,000 times. Multiply those numbers by 150 and you've got the number of people that have listened to his music on a streaming platform. And we're talking about millions of listeners. It's kind of crazy that we learn about Jamie and his music career from some artwork they released on Twitter back in 2022. One can argue that the golden record isn't his, and I'm interpreting this wrongly. But it doesn't really make sense that he would have someone else's award in his room. So it has to be his, right? We've got some continuity with the takeout menu pinned to the wall. And we saw some takeout boxes bought from the same place in the previous artwork next to his bed. He also has a golden mousepad with a crown sigil on it. The sigil can be seen on the arm sleeve of his jackets and his ring. We have seen him call himself a king in the warm-up cinematic. This again goes on to show that he is a proud and confident person, which is a common factor between all of the duelists, or at least most of them. He also has a can of Spike Rush energy drink on his desk. We have seen Fade with an entire box of the same energy drink, which she consumes for the purposes of self-induced insomnia. Next to his setup, he has pinned a picture of his mom's, and next to that are two ticket stubs. Maybe this is a picture of them when they were younger, on an outing as a family. Phoenix did separate from his family at a very young age. It could be a picture of his friends or some other random people, but I refuse to believe that he doesn't at least have a picture of his parents. Phoenix had a major story arc spanning multiple patches and 2 major animations. Loving and missing his family is a very major part of his character. But we don't see Mari anywhere. Maybe Valorant didn't want to introduce Mari just yet at the time of the release of this artwork. Or maybe they hadn't thought of her as a character yet. He has various flyers related to Peckham. One talking about a carnival. Maybe the tickets are related to the carnival flyer. I guess he took them because he was homesick. He also has a picture of a team in green jerseys and shorts. I'm assuming he's in there somewhere. He also has a postcard or a letter written to him by someone. Earlier, I said that Phoenix didn't have any souvenirs or mementos, which may seem wrong as of now. But I'm still kinda correct. We still see nothing of his friends or agents from Valorant. And these guys are a very huge part of his social life. And he seems to be really good friends with Yoru, but we don't see anything from him either. If one were to enter his house and take a look, they may think that he has no friends at all. He has cards and flyers from Peckham because, as I've said before, missing his hometown and family is a major part of his story. Anyways, the last few items of note are some scribbles on papers here and there and a few sticky notes. Looks like he likes to write or scribble a lot. Or maybe he has a bad memory and therefore he likes to write stuff down. We can see some on his desk and his bedroom mirror next to the figurine. He also has a cactus, a plant famously known for requiring minimum maintenance. I don't know what that conical thing is. Maybe something related to sports or celebration. Also, I don't know if this is an Easter egg or something, but these small things are gun buddies. I've done my best to match some of them, and I think they are the lucky dice, lucky rabbit, keep it safe, dumpster fire, sock of cheer, and the Bruno coin gun buddies. And we have saved the best for last, his wanted poster. Phoenix in his home has his own wanted poster. Not only that, he has framed his wanted poster. He has kept his own wanted poster very close to a picture of his mom's and his gold record. So I'm assuming he absolutely loves and cherishes it. We saw his wanted poster for the very first time in the DUALITY cinematic, which was the second cinematic that Valorant ever released. So he's got this framed for a very long time. He probably framed it because it was the first time he appeared on TV, and this is such a Phoenix thing to do. Here we have Jet, who absolutely hates what has happened to her life and the isolation she has to suffer because of it. And then we have Phoenix, who framed his poster, keeping it amongst his most cherished items. This is absolutely fantastic. I love detailed artwork like this. It tells us so much about the characters they belong to. The more you look at it, the more you can get out of it. It's crazy that I can make an entire video from this. I have so much respect for the artists at Valorant. How did they come up with a fireman's pole and a wanted poster? That's actually crazy. This video was just me rambling about some artwork that I thought was fun to look at. I hope you had as much fun watching as I had making it. And if you have watched so far, then once again, thank you so much for watching.